welcome to another brand new edition of T Watches a Scary Movie. My name is T, and of course we are talking scary movies. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new episode. Remember, new episodes like this one are guaranteed to go up every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, but I'm always putting out extra content throughout the week on all of my channels, so the best way to stay on top of all of that is to get subscribed to my link tree. And you can do that by going to linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you get subscribed to my link tree, that's going to give you access to the YouTube page for video versions of the show, to your favorite podcasting platforms, the audio only versions of the show, to my Letterboxd page for my written reviews and my movie rankings throughout the year, to my TikTok page for my short horror content, including movie news, movie premieres, stuff like that, my Twitch page where you can catch me doing horror gaming. Make sure to stay tuned for that because I'm going to be playing the original Thing game from 2002 here very soon, and to my Fangoria shop page where you can enjoy a 20% discount off anything in the Fangoria shop, including the subscription to the physical magazine. Hit that subscribe button because the more subscribers I get, the more content I'm putting out for all of you. So what are we talking about here tonight? Well, it is Juneteenth, folks, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm going back and checking out some classics for you. So last night I finally took the time to check out JD's Revenge, and that's what we are talking about here tonight. But before we do that, I want to do something really quickly, because you know the movie Longlegs is coming out very, very soon, and they just got done with some part of their marketing that involves calling this number 458-666-4355 to hear a phone call. We're going to do that right now on the show. So pay attention and let's see how this goes.
What's your name, little angel? Nice to meet you. I'll be waiting.
Okay, that's disturbing and unnerving for sure there. I like viral marketing like that. That's so sick. I am stoked for Longlegs to come out. We're gonna get that review there when that movie comes out for certain, y'all. It's in the trailer for JD's Revenge. JD's Revenge tells the story of young Ike Hendricks, a taxi cab driver and law student who finds himself suddenly possessed by the vengeful ghost of World War II gangster J.D. Walker. Now, J.D. Walker was cut down unjustly when he stumbled upon the murder of his sister and was blamed for the incident. And seeking revenge against those responsible, J.D. will stop at nothing to get the blood that he so desires. Now, this film from the jump already takes a bit of inspiration, or should I say, it inspires a film many decades later like the movie Bones. You might remember that one with Snoop Dogg about the gangster who also is unjustly killed and returns to seek revenge against those that are responsible. The big difference, though, between a film like JD's Revenge and Bones, though, was that with Bones, Jimmy Bones, played by Snoop Dogg, was shown to at least be a bit of a, altruistic kind of human being, to where he actually was doing a bit of good in his life. Even if he was a bad person, we still got to see him do a bit of good in the hood. He had his morals, and when folks went against those morals, that's what led to his unjust and untimely death. And when he sought his revenge, he was primarily going after those that were responsible, and unfortunately, those that were in the wrong place in the wrong time. We get it. There's a lot of stories out there like Bones that fits that motif, and they work out really well. What was interesting about JD's Revenge, though, is that we take that same assumption. If you're just watching that movie for the first time, like I did just last night, then you're probably going to take that assumption and say the same thing. Like, all right, cool. JD is probably this really upstanding guy, gangster or not. And you know what? He shouldn't have been killed. So we're going to take enjoyment. We're going to take pleasure in JD getting his revenge against those that killed him. But unfortunately, as we find out, JD was a piece of shit, honestly. JD was this horrible human being who, yes, was unjustly killed and blamed for something that wasn't his fault at all. And yes, he's absolutely right to seek his revenge against those that are responsible. But the downside here is that he proceeds to wreck Ike's life completely by the atrocities that he carries out while seeking his revenge. Because Ike keeps slipping more and more into JD's persona. JD takes over his body and does all of these terrible things with it. Whether it's attacking people, whether it's sexually assaulting people, whether it's just completely taking over Ike's life to where Ike doesn't exist anymore. And now it's just JD. Ike's life is going through absolute hell. This is very much a blaxploitation story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is interesting because there's already a blaxploitation version of that out there, Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde, which I haven't seen yet, so I don't know if that does a better job of telling that kind of tale. But this one, honestly, I thought did a wonderful job telling a Jekyll and Hyde kind of story, because a lot of the times with Jekyll and Hyde, we feel terrible for Dr. Jekyll. Basically, this is a man who's controlled by this vice to break loose and really let himself out and just get to revel in all of this debauchery, no matter how depraved, how violent, how evil it honestly is. And it's sad for Dr. Jekyll because he's still responsible for these crimes that are going on ultimately, and you can't help but sympathize with him even though he's ultimately the problem. This isn't really that because Ike at no point consented to this. He didn't take a potion. He didn't take the demonic possession willingly. He went out with his friends, and there was a hypnotist that was at this event that they went to. And when he was hypnotized, that's when JD takes over his body and starts the possession. So while it is a Jekyll and Hyde kind of tale, because Ike is very much this good person, whereas JD is this terrible person, it's not fully committing to that just because of the fact that Ike doesn't really have the same motivations that a character like Jekyll or presumably Dr. Black has had. Nothing that really leads to that at all. And that also kind of leads to the really unfortunate part of this film, which is the ending. I wasn't really jiving that well with the ending of this film because the movie spends a good chunk of time setting up JD doing these terrible things in Ike's body. We feel so badly for Ike, and quite honestly, the movie kind of leads itself in one specific way to where we have a pretty much foregone conclusion about how this movie really should end for Ike. Whether that's fair to Ike or not, there's pretty much only one way that this movie really can go. And it ends up not going that way, and that ends up being incredibly frustrating simply because the level of this evil that JD commits throughout the film. These are not innocent crimes. It's not like he's just stealing from somebody, he gets in a fight with somebody. It's not simple things like that. He is actively hurting people terribly across the course of this film, and it's one of those things where Ike, as innocent as he is likely going to have to pay the bill for JD's crimes. And that doesn't end up happening, and unfortunately, it drags down the rest of the movie. It's not a precautionary tale by any means. There's not really a lesson to be learned here either, because again, Ike treats his friends and family with respect. He cares for them. He doesn't want these bad things to happen. He's a responsible young man for sure, and yet these bad things keep happening to them and to him, and that's why the ending just doesn't really make that much sense. Now, heaps of praise have to be lauded upon Glynn Turman, who plays Ike and JD when JD is possessing his body. You might know him a little bit better as the high school professor from Gremlins, who Billy leaves the gremlin with, and then he proceeds to get killed by Stripe in that film. Glynn Turman does an excellent job because Ike and possessed Ike, who is JD, are very different. He plays it that way and does a good job with both of these roles. They are very, very different. And I love the fact that as JD takes over Ike's body more and more and more, he starts slipping into the clothing, into the actions, into the speech patterns, to all the ways that JD lived his life, to where folks do start realizing something is off with Ike. I think that's an excellent job that they did with it. The movie is also bloody. It's not gory. It's not gory in the least now, but with films that were set back in the 70s, a lot of times they're going to throw heaps of blood at you just to kind of like set in that this is a really violent and brutal kind of film. And I love these old blood effects. I love the way that blood looks in these old films. JD is not a punk at all. He is a gangster in every sense of the word. And I love the fact that we're kind of working before guns were really a big part of gangster culture. And so a lot of these guys are running around with straight razors. And something about straight razors seems so much more dangerous, so much more malicious, so much more evil than wandering around with a gun. I love that, especially in 2024. Again, the ending of this film unfortunately sours a lot of good that the movie truly does. I think it's very much worth the watch. This pairs very, very nicely with a film like Sugar Hill that I got to see for the first time earlier this year. But Sugar Hill very much commits to the horror part of its story. The fact that this woman is raising these zombies to seek revenge on the death of her husband, it commits very hard to that horror. And JD's revenge unfortunately just kind of rides that line to where there's these horrific elements in it for sure, but it doesn't really commit the way that it should to being a horror film. Still enjoyable, but that ending and the refusal to commit to more horrific elements stop it from really succeeding and being a much better film than what it honestly is. Either way, you can check it out for yourself right now on Screen Picks. That's how I saw it, through Prime Video. You can get a free trial of that for a week, give you enough time to check this one out. Go and check it out and let me know what you thought in the comment section, and hit that subscribe button, folks. I got more great reviews coming for you. That's going to do it for us tonight, though. My name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared. Boy here is a big fan of Fangoria. So, if you want to check out the world's best horror magazine that's out there, get a chance to get yourself your own subscription, which I just got my first one back in 2022 and I don't regret it for a second. But if you want your own Fangoria subscription, or you like the Fangoria merchandise, then head over to the Fangoria shop and use my link if you want to save yourself some money, folks. That's an easy one to remember. Just go to shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW. Again, that's shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW, or use my specific code AXDEW at checkout. You can save 20% off your entire order, and that implies 2 subscription and one-time orders as well. You don't want to miss out, folks, because with the magnitude of horror movies we've had released in the last few years, and with what we have on the horizon, Fangoria is going to be your #1 source for all that great, juicy, bloody information in the world of horror. So again, head to shop.fangoria.com. Hey there, folks! Thanks for tuning in to T Watch This Scary Movie. I appreciate you checking out another review or movie news, whether we're talking movies, TV shows, books, or games, whatever, it's all scary. Remember, you can check out new episodes every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the YouTube page for video. That's youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. Again, youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. And you can check out the audio version on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search T Watch the Scary Movie or TWASM. Don't forget, my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.